Hey there, Hofstra fans, and welcome to another edition of the W.B. Mason Coaches Report right here on GoHofstra.com. I'm Mark Weiner with the head coach of Hofstra Pride men's basketball, Joe Mihalich. Coach, how are you?
I'm good. Thanks for having me.
No problem, as always. Now, I know you don't want to talk about it much, but last week we haven't had a game in a while because of the finals break, but against Siena, 81-68 up in Albany. Just your thoughts on that game?
Not much to be pleased with, to be honest with you. We lacked in a lot of areas, a lot of the intangibles, which was disappointing. I'm not sure we competed like we have to. Our defense was, it wasn't what it needs to be. So, we did a lot of, our transition defense in particular was bad. So, not a lot to be pleased with, but the only good thing was we've had 10 days between, well, it's bad news and good news. Bad news is you have 10 days till the next game. So you got to have that taste in your mouth for 10 days. Good news is you can correct your errors and work on your mistakes and get back to hopefully doing what you need to do to be a good team.
Something I was curious about watching that game is when your team goes cold in terms of offense and not really hitting your shot, is that something that worries you when you have such a good offense, but they're going to have those days when they go cold?
Well, I say it all the time, and it almost sounds hypocritical to say it, but right now we're not a good defensive team. But when we play some good defense and rebound the ball, it can help us score some points because you can maybe score in transition. So I don't worry about our offense. I feel like at any moment we could go on a run because we have a lot of guys that can score. The things that we lay awake at night worrying about is our defense and our rebound.
Well, you mentioned the defense and the rebounding, and you keep saying the team needs to be tougher on defense, needs to get that much better. What is the plan? What have your coaching staff been working on this break to try to get better on defense?
Well, we went back to the drawing board. We really did. We kind of, I don't know if I'd call it boot camp, but these last 5 or 6 days, we, committed ourselves more to the weight room. We committed ourselves more to, our practices were 100% defense. So hopefully it shows. Hopefully it shows. We might go out there on Sunday against Stony Brook, and people might wonder if we ever did anything to work on our defense, but we'll see.
11-day break for finals. So obviously the first thing is players got to get through their finals, get through their classes, but how important just physically is it to get those 11 days off, and right before conference season you have 3 games left to go?
Yeah, well, it's as I said, our guys aren't going to feel like they have many days off because we've worked pretty hard here, but it is good to get the exams under your belt. We're very mindful that everything's been, all the schedules and so forth have been built around their exams and their study time and their group projects and their papers, etc. We did have a couple of days completely off, like today's Wednesday, tomorrow nothing at all, just so they can finish up all their work.
Next up is the Stony Brook Seawolves. Remember last year at the MAC, Deion Nesmith hitting that buzzer beater at the last second. So this is a big rivalry game for your squad. How do you expect them to live up to that expectation so go out and beat your Long Island rivals?
Well, this is what college basketball is all about. The crosstown rival, the rivalry game itself. Excuse me. I wish the game was played on ESPN during rivalry week. I think it could be that much fun. But they're a very good team. I'm not going to mention the other 2 teams because then I'd get in trouble with the other teams we play. But I think they're the 3rd best team on our schedule. And if you look at our schedule, we've played some very, very good teams. So that's certainly not a knock on Stony Brook. I think they'd see it as a compliment too. So if I was really smart, I would have said they're one of the top 3 teams in our schedule, right? Then they could. But it's a very, very good team. 1 through 5, very well coached, solid as can be defensively. It's hard to score points. They got a guy you can't stop. It doesn't matter what you do. We've watched miles of tape. It doesn't matter. He's going to score 25 points and get 13 rebounds. So, he's a load inside, and it's not a one-man band. They got a good scoring guard. They got a junior college transfer. Very, very good team.
You mentioned Jameel Warning. He's averaging a double-double so far this season. You have Rokas Gustis in the paint that pretty much matches up with him, but other than that, you don't really use anybody else who's going to match up with him. So is it going to be Gustis the whole time? And if he gets in foul trouble, you kind of just have to let Warning score?
You're trying to roll my day here, right? Well, we have to. Andre Walker might have to give us a few minutes this time, and if Malik Nichols is the guy that has to guard him, then it's going to be him who has to guard him.
So what are your keys to victory this week? You've got 2 games in 3 days coming up. You also have FAU on Tuesday, finally back at home at the MAC Sports Complex. But what's the main thing you want to see from your team?
I want to see our team get back to playing the way we can be. It's not about Stony Brook and Florida Atlantic and whoever else we're playing. Our key to victory is getting back to being who I think we are. and we weren't that way against Siena. So that's the key for us is, and there's been signs of that in practice. I just kiddingly said to the team, I said, I saw somebody yesterday I hadn't seen in a while. His name's Amin Tanksy, because he's practiced very, very well these last couple of days. And then I mentioned that about some of the other guys. So, we need our team to get back to being who they are, and hopefully that's a bunch of seniors who are totally committed and mindful of all the little details and play with the toughness that they've shown when we've played Florida State and South Carolina, people like that.
The head coach of Hofstra Pride men's basketball, Joe Mihalich, thanks so much for the time. Good luck this week.
Thank you, and happy holidays to everybody.
Again, Hofstra plays Stony Brook 2 p.m. on Sunday, and you can hear all the action on GoHofstra.com. This has been the WB Mason Coaches Report.